Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Reign. Today on recent Ballet Nerd events, we, along with much of the Ballet Nerd community, have just spent a wonderful afternoon enjoying the English National Ballet's Emerging Dancer 2026.
If you haven't heard of Emerging Dancer, it is basically a ballet showcase held by the English National Ballet to celebrate some of their youngest and most promising dancers of their company.
I know, I can already hear you now. Wait, oh my god, a whole showcase dedicated to the incredible young dancers of the company. How on earth did I manage to miss this? That's okay, don't worry.
That's why we're here.
That is why we're here as your most trusted, very favorite ballet nerds on the internet to recap and share all of our thoughts on this year's event.
If you're ready for the video and if you're as excited as we are to celebrate all of the amazing dancers at Emerging Dancer 2026, then make sure you tap the like button, swipe over and type it as well, and let's get going.
For more info/context on how Emerging Dancer works, the Emerging Dancer is a company-wide event/competition/celebration held by the English National Ballet since 2010 in order to recognize the dedication, excellence, and artistic growth of their artists across the company.
We have 6 beautiful young dancers who are, extremely promising and talented across the company, and they'll be each performing a classical pas de deux, very excited about, and also their own original contemporary piece that is choreographed by another member of the company.
We, as the audience, both in person and around the globe, as we are, will get to watch and enjoy all of these beautiful performances along with the panel of judges, because of course there is a panel of judges,
yes,
who will be tasked with the difficult ordeal of deciding who our award winners are going to be this evening.
English National Ballet is one of the biggest companies in the whole world.
True.
And their company is absolutely stunning. I believe we have mentioned them in a few videos before. We have showcased them, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're a beautiful, beautiful company. And so this competition is really great because it kind of showcases like the newer company members. So that's why we're so excited to see all the young talent today.
The way we're going to structure this video is we're going to go through all the contemporary pieces first, and then we'll have all the classical pas de deux at the end of the video. At the time that this video goes out, the Emerging Dancer 2026 live stream should be still up and still available to watch for free on the English National Ballet's YouTube channel.
Go subscribe to them and tell them we sent you.
This is going to be our recap and our thoughts, but if you want to watch the full performance, it will be there, so please go see it.
However, it is only available for a very, very limited time. The live stream is only available for 30 days. So if you're gonna watch this recap, watch the recap, enjoy it, have fun, we love you, and then go straight to their live stream because it's going to get taken down and we would be very sad if you missed it.
All that to say, we are in for such a treat. So let's get started. Our first dancer was Talina Chapin, and she's performing a piece called The Effort Paradox, choreographed by English National Ballet soloist Swanis Long. I really loved this piece, and I think it was a beautiful way to start off the contemporary portion. The best way I can describe it is thought-provoking.
Yeah, thought-provoking is a very good
on all
one.
levels.
Yeah,
the themes were very intelligent. I did go up and look up The Effort Paradox, and I may have gone down a rabbit hole about it afterwards, but I think it's an absolutely incredibly intelligent theme for a piece.
Yeah.
And that sort of introspection and that thoughtfulness and that sort of exploration is so clearly portrayed in the piece, especially in the way that Talina dances it.
As ballet nerds, we really appreciate sort of the intellectual aspects that were put into the piece choreographically and also in Talina's delivery, obviously. But I think it was also just very kind of emotional in a very simplistic sort of way. And it slowed everything down, when you're watching it. And it really just draws your attention into this sort of paradox, if you would. And it was really cool.
I loved the intention with which she approached every single movement of this piece.
It was very intentional.
All of the tiny nuances, the details, even just the control of momentum and the shifts in textures. You could really feel her thinking through and truly expressing every single moment of this piece.
Yeah.
And it made me walk away feeling genuinely thoughtful and introspective myself, I suppose.
It makes you think, it makes you question, and it makes you come to your own sort of conclusions. I think that's what art was made to do, it made
really
to make you think. And so, this was art.
Thank you, Talina, for this beautiful performance. We loved this piece and your expression of it. It was such a compelling performance.
It was.
We genuinely enjoyed every single second. The next dancer to perform was Sasha Venkatasamy, and his contemporary solo is called Lilac, choreographed by English National Ballet soloist Alice Bellini. Sasha shone here.
This might have been my favorite piece on him for the entire event.
That's true, and I liked him in all his pieces.
Yeah,
but
this one was fantastic. This was exceptional. I think this piece was more than anything just immersive. And it was so interesting because essentially he's performing this solo like on a blank stage, right?
And we get a spotlight, some lighting.
Yeah, exactly. You get some lighting to help you a little bit with the atmosphere, but like that's about it.
Yeah.
But when Sasha went into this solo, it's like he created an entire world around him, and he kind of built this entire picture around it, and he was really interacting in that world. That's kind of what really stood out about this piece. It's almost like you could see the objects that he was like interacting with, and sort of the world and the landscape that he was, you know, dancing in.
It's one thing to just portray something with your body as a dancer, and it's one thing to create an entire world. And that's what he did with this piece. And
that
it
was so cool.
So cool to see. I think it was also how fully he embodied and how effortlessly he shifted between completely different movement patterns.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Alice's notes on this piece, it was really representing like almost completely different states of mind.
Yeah.
Kind of interrupting each other and overlapping and all of those different lines of thought. I think that kind of like complexity as a dancer, it really stood out to me, especially in his performance. It was very layered and very versatile as well.
It does kind of feel like, you know, how your mind sort of just like goes on its own little tangents, and like how certain memories kind of like trigger different emotions. It kind of has that sort of feeling in it. It resonated with us, definitely, but I think, you know, general audiences, I think, can all connect with it in their own unique way. And so incredibly moving, incredibly relatable, and I mean, brilliantly executed.
Yeah. Please, before they take the live stream down, go watch it. Because it was absolutely incredible.
Imagine dancing, focusing like on you as a character in the world while also holding up the structure of the entire world around you. That's what he did, and that's why he's an artist. So
Sasha used to be so proud.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Go watch it, everybody.
Our next dancer is Yihan Chin, and she performed the piece Against the Pulse, choreographed by company artist Martino Santos, who, incidentally, we do recognize from Prix de Lausanne 2024 when we reacted to that one as well.
He's a fantastic, fantastic dancer, and incidentally, he also wrote the music for this piece as well, so multi-talented king, we love it. And of course, Yihan absolutely delivered in this piece.
This piece was incredibly visceral, I think is the best word to describe it. I loved the way that she completely pulled out all of the stops. I loved seeing her in this sort of genre of movement, especially after seeing her classical earlier, which we'll get into in a little bit. The difference was almost unrecognizable.
It was like night and day, honestly. It really showcased her versatility and sort of her artistic range as a dancer and as an artist. And honestly, like, you watch it and you would have never guessed. She just did classicals literally like half an hour ago.
Yeah, I know. Going from perfect, clean classical lines into this such like palpably raw, almost like erratic, as described by Martino, like out of control kind of feeling.
It was really, really beautifully done and really executed it. And it's honestly so amazing when you see artists just go
full send,
100% full send into a piece. No matter how varied or how like intense the emotion is, they just go 100% into it and completely sell the show. It is of course no surprise that Yihan did win an award for versatility. Again, the duality in her technical range and her artistic range from this and her classical, which we will get to in a second, was immaculate, incredible, and so vast. So this award was 100% deserved.
So Yihan, absolutely incredible job.
Gorgeous.
Loved this piece. Loved it on you specifically.
Yes.
And,
oh my goodness.
Honestly, all applause from here.
We have another prize winner. This is Zai Kalist, and he's performing a piece called Nature Boy. It is choreographed by first soloist Rentaro Nakaaki.
Frankly, this was one of my personal favorite pieces from the entire evening. So, handshake to Mr. Nakaaki. I loved your piece. Highlight of the evening for me, and it was the one that I could not stop thinking about. Am I biased because I like jazz? Yes.
Okay.
But did I still like the piece the best? Yes.
Zai absolutely killed this, and
my
I mean,
God.
he brought this energy and charisma and absolutely commanded the stage and commanded the audience present.
In terms of just sheer stage command, out of this world.
Out of this world.
I loved just his storytelling ability and his way of just drawing the audience in. Genuinely had my focus locked the entire piece. I don't think I breathed. I don't think I blinked. I was just so spellbound. He literally conjured just this enigmatic storytelling, completely spellbinding atmosphere throughout the entire piece, and it was just absolutely wonderful to see.
So good. I wish we could show this on the channel.
I know!
Because it was so good.
I really wanted to showcase it here on the channel.
Yeah,
we would
please.
get copy strike to the moon.
Please go watch it because this will literally knock your socks off. It was so good.
Yeah. This is honorary Ballet Reign Award, okay?
Yes, okay.
And Ballet Reign Award, by the way, is just literally nothing else aside from that you get showcased on the channel.
Yeah, and we just like
And we just talk about
we
you.
just like it. But since we can't
can't
show
show
it on the channel, this is like our secondary sort of honorary mention. But this piece was genuinely fantastical on all fronts. It was just overall just a fantastic piece. So Zai, fantastic job, really well danced.
Yes.
Thank you so much for blessing us with this piece because we are still thinking about it. We are
about
still
it.
marveling over it.
I may have gone back and rewatched it.
Zai is also one of the award winners of the evening for virtuosity and technical excellence. We're not going to debate that. We're not
Not at
arguing with
all.
that
Oh
at
my
all
God.
because he was stellar in all of his performances, but this one especially so good. So Zai, congratulations. So much love.
The next dancer that we got to watch was Henri Segura, and she performed a piece called Obsidian, choreographed by English National Ballet soloist Minju Kang. And this had definitely one of the most striking opening pictures of the entire evening. I wish we could put the music.
I wish, because it was so good.
The opening picture combined with the music, combined with the costume, combined with the lighting. This also lingered in my mind. I was like up at like the middle of the night just thinking about it. It was so striking. I actually gasped when the
Knife to
lights
the
go
heart.
on and she's there. It was like,
So good.
art. And the piece itself was so intense, and Henri of course goes full send and just attacks every single movement. She really did such a beautiful job of portraying the story, the narrative arc, and the progression and the development of this piece. And you know, this is what's beautiful about contemporary is that it's slightly more abstract than like a narrative ballet would be.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
And so the dancer gets to tell their story and the audience gets to receive it and or layer their interpretation on it. Henri does such a beautiful job of just taking the audience along that full journey. Henri specifically is so emotive and possesses so much artistic skill. That I just loved watching her in this piece. Oh, also shout out to the costume designer. I loved this costume.
Yes. Oh my
One of my
goodness.
favorite costumes of the evening as well. Again, go watch. You guys just have to watch all of these. Love you, Henri.
Yes, thank you so much. This was fantastic.
This was stunning. Jaws dropped. The the last contemporary piece of the evening was, I feel like a lot of you guys may know him.
We certainly recognized him.
We did recognize him. This is Jacob Weiwei Hughes, and a lot of you guys will recognize him from our Prix de Lausanne 2025 commentary, which we would link above and below for you to watch afterward.
Yes.
However, we have gotten copy striked.
This one they actually took down, and that was unfortunate because now you cannot find that on the internet at all, but we will probably put it up on our Patreon so you can go watch it.
On that later.
Yes.
The piece he performed is called Liminal, and it was choreographed by English National Ballet first artist Ashley Coppélia.
Yes.
And in her notes before this piece, she mentioned that one of her main sources of inspiration was Millet's Ophelia painting. Art referencing art. We love it. We are here for it. This was honestly such an incredibly emotional, very moving piece. And Jacob was absolutely the perfect dancer for this particular piece in terms of that oscillation and contrast between these like absolutely lofted, ethereal, airtime moments contrasted directly with these very human, grounded moments of like pain or struggle. And
it was very, very compelling. You really feel it as an audience member. You really feel like all those highs and the lows and the space where you just kind of drift in between. I think he just held you in suspense like the whole time.
And I love Jacob as a dancer, in this piece especially, because he approached it with such an uninhibited rawness.
Yeah.
It was moving. Like, I'm pretty sure half the audience was in tears by the end of it.
He really gave everything into this piece.
A lot of heart.
A lot of heart and a lot of passion, I think.
As a tiny little side note, whoever from the E&B costume department who created the amazing flowy shirt that he's wearing in this piece,
angelic.
I hope they get a raise, because this was absolutely beautiful.
It was so good.
So amazing.
Yeah,
it was like
so
elite,
yeah,
10 of 10.
elite.
Jacob actually won 2 awards
for
this year's Emerging Dancer. He received the Artistic Distinction Award. I mean, obviously. He also received a second award, which was the audience-voted Audience Favorite Award. The audiences love him, you guys.
The audiences really love him. And
Can you blame us, though? Jacob,
you're fantastic.
Congratulations.
We love you so much.
He won Audience Favorite in Prix de Lausanne.
I know. I'm pretty sure
every audience just loves him.
Yeah, you know what? You just keep doing what you do, Jacob. Keep being you, because, you know, we love you.
We love you a lot.
We are going straight into the classical section, which we're very, very excited for. We love contemporary so much, but we are Ballet Reign and we love the classical stuff. But before we do that, we just want to give a quick thank you to English National Ballet for partnering with us on today's video. And we just want to remind you guys that the live stream is only available for like 30 days after their stream. So you probably have a little less than that now if you're watching this. If the link is still in the description box, please go and click it. If it is valid, please go watch it and share it with all your friends so they don't miss it as well.
And also I'll say, please go visit their website.
Yes, please watch.
Stay updated on all of their events, because genuinely, such a beautiful company.
Yeah. These are just 6 of their dancers, 6 of their newest company members. They have an entire company, and my goodness, are they ever gorgeous. So, and if you have an opportunity to like support the company as a whole, you can always donate, support all the dancers, and help them keep doing what they do as well. Make sure you go over there, subscribe to their channel, check out their website. All the links and stuff will be in the description box. Follow the dancers. We will have their handles linked there as well, because they're amazing. They deserve all the love and support that they can get. And so we just want to say thank you to English National Ballet. And with that, let's head into the classical section.
No.
Next up, I love all of the pas de deux.
Yeah.
All of the pas de deux were fantastic, you guys. Like literally the lineup, when we got the rundown of like what was going to be showing as a part of like the showcase, we were like, Coppélia, love it. Talisman, love it. Sleeping Beauty, love it. It's going to be a good evening. And so, and all the dancers absolutely delivered. So let's take it one step at a time.
Yes. Tiny note about Emerging Dancer and what makes it so special is that these dancers are going to be performing with live music, courtesy of the English National Ballet Philharmonic.
Yes.
And conducted by guest conductor Kingsley Lynn. And you guys know how we feel about live music.
Live music will always get our hearts every single time.
I loved how the orchestra is right there up on the stage.
Right on the stage.
With the dancers. It made my heart happy.
It was really,
Give
really
the orchestra
special.
their props. Make them
Please.
visible.
Oh
Make
my
them
goodness.
a statement.
The first pas de deux was the wedding pas de deux from Coppélia, which is in the third act. We did do a commentary on it.
A different version.
A different version of it. And this one was danced by Talina and Sasha. This one was gorgeous.
I know. I was like melting into my seat.
In general, this is one of the sweetest wedding pas de deux in ballet repertoire. I mean, you can check out the commentary. If you watch the whole ballet of Coppélia, you know, there's really adorable couple. They're really young. It's like young love. They start off in the ballet kind of like young and kind of like bickering a little bit, but then by the time we get to this pas de deux, it's just very sweet, and it's like, oh, we've been through so much together. I still love you so much. It has that sort of like sentiment in it.
It's such a gentle and very tender pas de deux. You can't be outward extroverted here.
Yeah.
It's between the two of them. It's an
this pas de deux.
extremely intimate.
It's
pas
very
de deux.
intimate, yeah.
And so they did bring like complete lovebird energy, and everything was just so
hazy and like rose colored.
Yeah, exactly. Dreamy and perfect.
I loved how they danced together, especially Sasha. I mean, with the partnering, just handling her so gently and so tenderly. I think it's beautiful because, you know, Franz is like kind of more boyish in Act 1. He's definitely a little bit more playful,
careless,
a little bit careless. But you know, for this pas de deux, you see that side of him that's very tender and very gentle and very loving.
My favorite moment is when she goes over to the corner and then he just like looks over at her like this. It was so cute. So good.
Those little moments, I think, is really what brought this pas de deux to life. It's just those tiny, tiny, tiny moments where you just see that little bit of connection.
And also, this pas de deux is so difficult. It's really hard, especially for the girl.
Yeah,
and
so hard.
You know, all of the promenade and Alzicon.
Oh my
god. This huge series of promenades at the end.
Yeah.
And Talina, girl, you did so.
You killed it.
Killed it.
Both of you.
And still making it look effortless.
Like, she still had little moments where you just see the little spark of like cheeky Swanhilda energy, which you know, it's so perfect for, you know, even when you're trying to have a very serious first dance with your husband. I'm still just a girl, you know. And she brought that energy in for Swanhilda. That is absolutely fantastic. It is beautiful and it's so perfect.
The variations for Swanhilda and Franz, I think, are very characteristic of them. Exactly. And I love seeing both dancers really bring that sort of energy, the Swanhilda energy and the Franz energy into these variations.
Sasha, I feel like he brought that sort of like big bubbly energy that Franz had. It's a loud variation.
It is a loud variation, just by nature.
Yeah, it's very loud and sort of, it's
slightly boisterous.
Slightly boisterous, a little bit boyish on the edges, and I think that he really delivered in that.
I did want to mention Sasha's landings out of his tours. They're so like so satisfying to watch.
So good to watch.
Just his tour quality. It's really incredible. The turns are fast, they're clean. It really stood out to me while I was watching his variation and also watching the coda. The one where they switch arms, right?
Yeah, it was the switched arms. So cool.
Steps to you, sir. I think Talina really shone in her variation as well.
Variation was gorgeous.
That was my favorite thing that she did all evening, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Her variation was like a standout.
Cute. She made all the tiny moments stand out. I think that's like what really...
Even this first little like...
it was so... It was the little details were just like...
The épaulement, the
beautifully
head.
Presented, and obviously the coda was adorable.
The moment that absolutely melted my heart is at the very end of the coda. And when she runs up and like, picks her up in the little princess carry.
Princess lap.
Oh, it was so cute. It was so fun. And it was
so cute.
It was absolutely Swanhilda Franz energy. Perfect. And that end pose of just boom. It also just made the most beautiful picture.
Gorgeous.
So like symmetrical and like...
It was really, really beautiful, and they were well matched, honestly.
So
it was very, very, very good.
So to the two of you, give each other a high five.
Yeah.
Tell each other good job, because this was exquisitely danced. And it genuinely improved my entire week. I'm not even joking.
It was really good.
It made my whole week.
Musically, I'm biased towards this one.
Very biased.
Musically biased. This was the Talisman Pas de Deux, and this one was danced by Yihan and Zai. Arguably one of my favorite pas de deux in the repertoire, just for the music alone, and it follows more like a story narrative rather than a template. So that's what really stands out to me about this pas de deux, like as a piece in general. But Yihan and Zai absolutely delivered on this. They were so good together.
They were genuinely breathtaking. The amount of just assurance that they had throughout this entire pas de deux.
Yeah.
Yihan's lines are insane.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So beautiful.
She was really beautiful. Yihan brought this sort of lightness and this sort of delicate quality because, you know, she is like a goddess. She was radiant. She looked like otherworldly. And Zai is the wind god, or the god of the wind, and stuff like that. And so he has to bring in this loftiness, and he has to bring the jumps, and he has to bring the power and the airtime, and sort of like this blustery quality. And he delivered.
Oh my god.
He delivered. This man can jump. This man can jump. He was so incredible.
Yes.
Like, there was so many times where literally stole the breath out of my lungs. And maybe that's what the wind god is supposed to do. I don't know.
I believe Yihan was actually a winner for Prix de Lausanne 2026. She has such a finesse to the quality of her dancing.
Yeah.
That I absolutely adored.
Very, very polished.
Yeah.
It was very pure.
All of the lines are completed. All the pictures are stunning.
I know, but it wasn't rigid either. She really flows through everything, but she hits it at the exact. It was very articulate. I think that's what it is.
The coda, however, is I think where both of them really shone.
Also, musically my favorite.
This would be our runner-up for Ballet Reign Award.
Yeah, our runner-up Ballet Reign Awards.
We have our honorary Ballet Reign Award that we can't show here, which was Nature Boy, and then we have our runner-up Ballet Reign Award, which would be specifically the coda of the Talisman Pas de Deux.
This was so good.
Okay, can I just take a moment to shout out Yihan's fouettes? Did not move.
Barely moved.
Like,
relevates in the same spot.
Stayed clean.
How? In case you didn't know, the goal when you're doing Russian fouettes like this, the goal is to kind of stay in exactly the same spot. To do that though, and very few can, it takes very, very, very clean technique because you have to be so consistent with all of those relatives.
Centered,
so centered,
aligned,
and the
technically
momentum.
perfect.
Yeah, you have to be so perfect. But Yihan, probably the cleanest, most consistent fouettes I have seen in a very, very long time. And so props to you, girl. That was incredibly done. Like, literally, Eve and I were like, the entire time we were like, how is this even real?
Girl. Also, can we take a moment to recognize directly after Yihan's incredible, perfectly aligned, stationary fouettes, here comes Zai with triple soda boss.
Triple soda boss, you guys. Again, very rare to see. Like, obviously it's done, but like,
it's done. But
very few people do a triple.
It's like an Ivan Vasiliev thing.
Yeah, like that's a Vasiliev thing. Doubles are definitely more common, and that's like sort of your standard, you know, for this coda. But of course, Zai comes in with the triples to absolutely take our breath away and knock our socks off of our feet and everything.
Insane. Like we said, the man can jump.
Incredible.
Solid landing. Like
so
no
quiet.
no kind of fidgeting. It boom.
So clean.
So good.
So confident. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Props to that last passage with like the pirouette to the dip, which is very, very hard to do on the music. But they nailed it. And they made it intentional, and they made it very, very, very clean.
I loved that final run up to the lift.
Yes, to the lift.
And run off the stage.
Oh, so
I
good.
love that the energy never stopped.
Yeah.
Instead of like get up to the lift and hold it and then run up, it was like
there they go.
And like he's carried her off.
Yeah, that's it.
Carried away by the wind.
Yeah, literally.
Tell each other good job.
Yeah, give each other a high five because this was absolutely breathtaking.
The final pas de deux of this evening, we've mentioned it so many times, it's the famous classical ball classic pas de deux. And this was, of course, the wedding pas de deux from the ballet The Sleeping Beauty. This pas de deux is danced by Henri and Jacob, and oh my goodness, were they exquisite.
exquisite. I think what stood out to me the most was the chemistry. Aside from, okay, let's get the obvious things out of the way first. Technically exquisite, technically brilliant, but the artistry, the way they connected on an emotional level, even though Sleeping Beauty in and of itself is a very, very technical role and a very technical pas de deux, the two of them really put on their own individual characters as Florman / Desiree and Aurora, but also together they really brought a very special sort of dynamic, which read really well from the audience and felt very real in terms of the story and the scenario and the fairy tale.
We've mentioned before Henri having this incredible, like, emotive artistry to her dancing, and also Jacob, obviously, being an award winner this evening for artistic distinction. Both of them together, it really stood out. I mean, for us who really enjoy seeing dancers' personalities come through the roles,
We live for
we
that.
ate this up. Because you could see so much soul in the dancing.
much.
You can see them both interacting with each other, see them working the audience, see them really just embodying the characters and really telling a story with it.
100%.
For something classical like Sleeping Beauty, it's so easy to get locked into being very poised and very regal and very technical, which for one thing is very gorgeous. But I just loved seeing them, yes, the prince and the princess, but also just as people, as Aurora and Desiree who are getting married.
Exactly.
You know, you get to see that joy, you get to see that kind of elation of like, look what has come of 100 years of waiting.
I was moved. I was very, very moved. What I loved about Jacob was how in control he felt in this variation. It really felt like he was the one commanding the music. I think it was these tiny details of how he kept a lot of the arms very, very low. There wasn't any like big flourishes up here. It had a very authoritative sort of feel to it, which I really, really loved.
I think it was beautifully done, especially this end pose of just like...
It was so classy.
Amazing.
It was so classy.
Yeah.
Henri's variation was beautiful. I think she, again, brought life to Aurora. I think that sometimes, like, Aurora can feel like we just kind of flatten her character into just a princess. But I think Henri really brought this beautiful soul to Aurora, which I really appreciated. And I think this whole variation in general, as it is choreographed, like just the steps alone, is meant to be Aurora telling her story. You have this whole section at the end where she's like saying, you know, I was once little and now I've grown up and now I'm a queen. And Henri delivers this so beautifully. She really emoted and she really looked like she was just sharing that story and she was sharing the journey.
Thank you, Henri, for actually making something of that passage. I loved the narrative she brought into it. She was looking all the way
Everywhere.
over.
Now
like,
look how beautiful my life is. Can we just take a moment for Jacob's entrance for the coda?
we can take a moment to appreciate that pirouette with the balance at the top and the wink that he gave us.
Yes, okay, Jacob, we see you.
We
Show off. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I know. I was like, all right. No, it was funny. I was watching the live stream and I was like, he held the balance and I was like, did he just? And then he winked at me and I was like, did he just? Here's my rule. I think if you do as many pirouettes as he did and you hold the balance at the end of it, you are allowed to break character just a little bit to wink at the camera.
The coda energy was great. Again, the synergy was there. The synchronicity was there.
I do also want to point out this little passage, the little precipitate passage.
Oh my
da, 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 da.
Yeah.
It was so light. Like she was barely on the ground. She was like a skipping stone. Like
exactly.
skimming across the surface of the water.
It really felt like
gorgeously done. All in all, this pas de deux absolutely took our breath away. There was just so much nuance in it and so much tiny finessed details in it. And also moments of personality. It was just overall an incredible performance. And so I'm going somewhere with this. We are proud to award Henri and Jacob our Ballet Reign Award for this year's Emerging Dancer 2026.
Yeah.
Congratulations to both of you. We absolutely loved your performance. And honestly, like, the Ballet Reign Award is essentially you get some Ballet Reign screen time. We're going to watch your pas de deux and talk it through.
But genuinely, this was such a great pas de deux, and we're so excited to show it to you guys. So make sure you get your snacks, get your drink, and let's get into the commentary.
We would have reacted to all of them had we the time constraints.
If we had the time.
We are saying that you do have to go watch the rest of the Pas de Deux.
Yes.
The solos and the coda and all of the other
pieces.
Incredible dancers. Please.
Go to the link in the description box.
Yes.
And go watch them after this video. Here we go with the Sleeping Beauty Wedding Pas de Deux from Act 3 featuring Henri and Jacob. Here they come. My favorite part about this entrance is how poised it is. You really see like the king and queen energy. Greet the court.
Aww. Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Even the little accent.
Yes.
All
Beautiful.
synchronized with the music.
Exactly. Present courteously and politely for the court, but they also have like a little moment of eye contact and connection
of
there.
each other, like, all right, we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here, we're doing this.
Cute.
I love how she's in her upper body right here.
Now this is really clean. Stay. So
and they
good.
lock focus at the same time.
That breath is gorgeous.
Incredible.
Beautiful. Really beautiful.
I just love that entire passage because it's so understated, but they make it so intricate in just the way he's absolutely zeroed in to every nuance of her movement, and he matches it.
He totally
when she
matches it.
does this, and he has to put his arm on her waist there, he
Yeah.
matches her arm through it.
Yeah, it feels coordinated.
The allongé here, both their arms go at the same time.
Yeah.
Even the épaulement,
Yeah.
everything's just so calibrated.
Yeah, I love how much she dances this because it's such an understated pas de deux. And obviously it's Sleeping Beauty. You can't be like Kitri from Don
Effusive,
Q, and you
yeah.
can't be like Papa and like, you know, add tons of flourish. She adds it in such a beautiful, tasteful way. And I love how Jacob Partners, he dances this as well. Like even though he's just supporting her in this passage, it still feels like he's dancing with her. Again, it's just so musical, and it's not just like I turn her and I do this and I do that. He really moves with her, and I really love that. I love how the music is also so simple. Choreographically, it just works so perfectly. Stunning.
So satisfying.
And it's so quiet.
Beautiful. Crisp.
Punctual.
Yeah.
So good. Eye contact there was gorgeous. The promenade that sort of mirrors the Rosa Adagio in Act 1, which is beautifully symbolic.
So synced there.
Clean, classical lines.
Wow, that's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love the way that there's, even in that quick passage, we still have so much breath.
Yeah.
And it's just assembles into this perfect,
Stillness.
clean arabesque line.
Beautiful.
And then-
beautiful.
Close.
And I love how it's not overdone. Like they keep it very demure and they keep it very subdued for now.
Yeah, it's not like a sharp close. It's like
Yeah.
it's
So
that kind of
perfect.
quality that's just, it's addictive to watch. It takes so much attention to detail as a dancer.
It shows the maturity, I think, because like Aurora is not really this little 16-year-old girl anymore. She's a queen. And so I love how she brings that sort of demeanor into the character, and he does the same thing as well as the prince. This is also one of my favorite steps in classical ballet.
Yeah. So square.
So good.
I love she gives us a little smile just before she leaves.
Yeah, see? Little things like that. Right up on the axis.
And straight into that big.
Beautiful.
Their eye gaze, their dual eye gaze at the audience will forever remain like one of the most impactful parts of the pas de deux. I don't know what it is. Normally I can explain these things. I can't for this one. It's just, it's like royal portrait energy.
That's what it is. It's royal. Put up the portrait. There.
It's just like,
it feels
there.
just there.
And the angle's exactly right. The gaze is exactly, the energy is exactly right. And it's so
You do this
like,
promenade and then paint me.
Yeah. It's so true.
We will.
Thank you. Yeah, someone paint them.
Stunning lines here. Positions are beautiful.
So musical there.
I know.
Hit exactly on the pizzicato. Small note, but I think this is such a beautiful position in the air.
Yeah,
because
she
she's not
especially.
actually looking at the audience. You're looking this way.
Yeah.
And it's just so, I don't know what it is. There's such an elegance to it.
It feels ethereal, but it feels very, very elegant and very queen-like, I think. I love how they work together to create this lift because she doesn't look strange. She doesn't look uncomfortable. She doesn't look like she's choking up there. She's so relaxed and so at ease, and he gets her up there so easily, and he also brings her down with so much control.
Yeah.
Which makes
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Beautiful.
Let's go.
The iconic Anadan pirouette into the fish,
Beautiful.
which is so, so difficult and so notoriously hard. Like, some professionals can't even do this.
one-handed.
Yeah.
Boom.
Stunning.
And I love her position in that fish. It's so elongated and lovely.
So good.
Let's go. Gorgeous. The smile, like
That's the moment. That was the moment.
Here we are.
Yeah, that was it. That was so cute.
That is adorable.
But it's so good, and the music just completely calls for it. This is such a difficult step for the girl's perspective because you're in your arabesque and you're waiting in a completely different place than where you need to be for the pirouette.
Yeah, so you have to...
And then bringing from the leg from the back, I mean, even to do it with your arm, to bring it from the back to the side and into the passe, you feel how much rotation that takes in the socket. And to do that in like a second, like half a second into that fouette is really, really hard. But again, straight up on her axis, and he's got her just with one hand. And then getting her into that fish.
One-handed.
But look how easily he does that. It's almost funny. It's because he just does it so effortlessly. It's just like, oh yes, he just naturally does this every Thursday. He just do that. It's so casual. It's so easy.
Love it.
Incredible. It looks so easy for him.
Yeah, it's like he does this every day.
Yeah, it's just like he does it every single day.
As easy as walking.
Yeah, normal Thursday activities, obviously. And I love how she looks at him here. It's the whole package.
There's so much into her expression here. And she uses her face so beautifully. As you've seen through all of her performances.
She's very expressive.
You can just see the, like, my prince! Like, you can see just the pure joy on her face.
Yeah, she brings that energy. She really brings us that energy, and we're here for it.
Yeah.
And I love how musical it is.
Boom.
So
Good job, both of you.
Oh, beautiful.
My favorite part.
And the best moment. It's so simple, but it's so impactful. Yeah.
For that one pose.
Yeah, again, matching her arm on that. Matching her head, matching the energy. And once again, the pirouettes that sort of mirror the Rose Adagio in Act 1. Stunning.
And
Gorgeous.
again with a breath.
Yeah.
Before she closes. I love that they made that a moment.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment. I love this part. This will always be one of my favorite parts of the Pas de Deux. And they do it so well. That eye contact, stunning.
All right. Hold that
Gorgeous.
balance.
Beautiful.
Wow.
That was
Genuinely incredible.
incredible.
They should be so proud of this performance.
That was jaw on the floor. Stunning.
I love-
Absolutely exquisite. Wow. You can tell they're happy.
Yeah, I know.
As they should be.
They
As
should be so proud.
Yeah, no, they should be so proud. Honestly, this was mastery, and I mean, they're so young. Honestly, they're both so young. Again, new to the company-ish, and yet delivering like top tier
Professional quality, like
quality,
amazing.
immaculate, exquisite performances.
And you see what we mean, right? When
Yeah.
you see like the nuance in it, the details, the tiny personal touches, that takes a lot of time to develop that kind of
Agreed.
artisticality, I guess.
Yeah, artisticality.
I just loved seeing it in both of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, every single dancer that we got to see tonight had such a gift to share.
Yeah.
Like an individual gift to share. And like backed by the most insane technique, you guys. But like
Insane
on
technique.
top of that, like a full soul as an artist.
Yeah.
That they really just left it all out on the floor tonight for us.
All of them did.
Round of applause to our Ballet Reign Award winners and also to all of the Emerging Dancer 2026 participants because we had the best time.
We did have
Like
the
you
best
guys,
time.
you don't understand. You guys made our day, our week, probably our month, possibly our year.
It means so much to see how much care that this sort of generation of dancers is bringing to the stage. You know, you see so much talent, yes, from a technical standpoint, but you also see so much like thought and care and intentionality
yeah.
and passion that they're putting.
Just like intelligence as well.
Yeah, intelligence as well that they're putting into the character and they're putting into the artistic quality and portrayals of these roles. It really makes us so happy, and I think that more than just a good performance, that's like what makes our day and like what makes us so happy. That
you're like-
genuinely is the best gift.
And you're like, the future of dance is in
And
such
good, solid
hands. Alas, we must part and wrap up this delightful evening of incredible dancing and amazing moving artistry.
Yeah.
And just, honestly, just give me warm fuzzies to like,
we feel happy, we feel warm, we feel full in the heart.
I honestly, sincerely hope to all 6 of our dancers today, please, we hope that you will be able to dance forever and ever and ever. I want to see you on all the stages. I want to see you in every role. We here at Ballet Reign are cheering for you so much because
so much.
you should be absolutely proud of how far you've come, of the
Yes.
art you're able to produce right now as you are. And honestly, we're celebrating that. And also the art that you're going to make in the future. We, on behalf of Ballet Reign and on behalf of the Ballet Nerds,
Yes.
give you a huge round of applause. And to all of the ballet nerds watching right now, please go visit English National Ballet's YouTube channel. Go watch the live stream.
Yes.
Go like it. Everyone hype it. And everyone please leave kind comments for the dancers.
Yes,
Send Send them flower throws,
Yes.
clapping emojis, heart emojis. Tell them what you thought of the pieces, what moved you, what got you excited, what you really noticed, and just wish them well for their careers ahead because, you know, you guys, these are some really talented people.
These are really talented people.
So spread the good ballet nerd vibes.
Thank you so much to English National Ballet for partnering with us on today's video. It was such a joy to celebrate all of 6 of these incredible artists that are coming up in the company. We're so grateful that there are companies like the English National Ballet that really foster the artists in the dancers, and not just a technical sense, but also like as a holistic artist. Giving young dancers especially the chance to shine and be promoted and to really present themselves on the stage as well. We are sending you guys all of the best for your upcoming season. If you like the video, obviously like the video, and please make sure you go and subscribe to the English National Ballet. Follow them on Instagram, follow the dancers on Instagram, and also check out their website. The link will be in the description box below, just so you can stay up to date with everything that they're performing and what all the dances are doing and what's going on with the English National Ballet. They are one of the top companies in the world, by the way, and
They
so
are, as you have seen today.
as you have seen today, you know why. And if you do get a chance to go watch any of their shows in person, you guys please go take the opportunity to
Go
do it.
see it.
They're incredible. They're a beautiful company, amazing company, Ballet Reign approved, and so like.
We also want to say our huge thanks to our patrons over on Patreon,
Yes.
who were a huge reason of why this video is on the internet today. Our patrons play a huge part in keeping the lights on for us and keeping Michelangelo functional and not just decor, and also help keep the Ballet Nerd content coming to all of you, the Ballet Nerds, every single Saturday.
Yes.
And so for that, we have to say a huge thank you to all of you.
Yes,
and
thank you.
if you would like to become a patron, you can click the link in the description box, or you can visit patreon.com/Ballet Reign. We got a lot of fun going on over there. We have the Ballet Reign after show, so you can subscribe there. It's very easy to do. It's less than a cup of coffee, and we would appreciate that so much. And anyways, I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballet Reign signing off. Until the next video.
Bye.
Try one more time.
Okay. If you're as excited as we are, oh, there's a chainsaw neighbor. He's back, y'all. Idling. Send your love to the chainsaw neighbor. Anyway.
Lucky for you, we are here today as your most trusted, very favorite ballet nerds on the internet to...
That always gets me every time.
That's why there's always a cut after the poses, because we collapse laughing.
So dumb. Why do you do the 4 poses?
Behind the scenes ballet nerd lore, the reason why there's always a cut right after we do the 4 poses is because we start laughing.
Yeah, because it's so bad. Why do we
Because it's
do
so
that?
cringe.
Why do
You
we
have to do
always
the 4
that?
cringe poses. Our personal... Oh, is it raining? It rained a little this morning. It might be
I
raining.
can hear a little bit.
I think it might have stopped. I think I
it's-
scared it off.
I think you did.
I think he's shy.